Doing their finest rent impression, 90 Day Fiancé finished another season of love with a memorable tune. As Jibra Bell entered his wedding to the emotional 1000 Miles, the message behind the melody resonated across every storyline. While the couples all overcame a lot to get to their weddings, their journeys had really just begun. Wrapping up with every couple walking down the aisle, it almost seemed impossible that the season would end that way. From toilets and breast milk to sparring sessions and shotgun weddings, the squabbles between the 7 couples were consistent and provided weekly red herrings that built disbelief towards the possibility of a universal happy ending. Leaving Las Vegas while Patrick and Thay's initial problems all seemed to center on Pat's brother John's ubiquity in their lives, Thay's secrecy over their relationship from her father caused real drama. After accidentally admitting to Pat's brother Matthew that her father didn't know or approve of her marriage, Pat was left rocked while Thay's tried to play it off. As Thay's later made Patrick take her to a surprise location that turned out to be a special memory wedding chapel, Pat was turned off by her proposal. Saying he didn't want to marry her like a stripper or further push her father away, Pat shut her down and Thay's shut off. It would not be until a second all-or-nothing video chat between Pat and Thay's father that the couple's wedding plans would recover and come to fruition. Grappling session fighting more than just his wife Ariella, Biniam's MMA aspirations are no secret. After finally getting his K-1 visa and moving to New Jersey, Ari was happy to help him reach his goals by finding him a gym. As she rolled up to her fiancé rolling with another woman, she took it about as badly as one would imagine. Walking in on Biniam fully wrapped around his training partner Melissa, Ari laid into her fiancé, his training partner, and their coach over their unexpected cross-gender grappling. With Ari's fury extending outdoors, Biniam's last words being "F***ing nightmare" said it all. Moving out while Jibra's parents did allow their son and his fiancée Miona to live with them rent-free, their constant criticism and psychoanalysis of their relationship made cohabitation nearly impossible. From trashing their cooking and wardrobe to refusing to go to their Joshua Tree wedding, they caused more gloom than glee. After Jibra informed his parents that he was giving Miona her dream wedding, Mahala not only refused to go but gave the couple to the end of the month to move out. Angered like he was 16 again, Jibra packed his sneakers and matching outfits and left almost immediately. Instead of supporting their son through a stressful time, their holier-than-thou harshness showed viewers exactly why Jibra moved out 12 years prior. Secret apartment snooping through Kobe's iPad. After an unsettling meeting with his friend Temperature, Emily learned that Kobe was secretly researching studio apartments in Columbus, Ohio. Worried that he was planning on leaving her and their children for Cameroonian camaraderie, Emily confronted him. Like any man that got caught doing something suspect online, Kobe flipped the tables on Emily and asked why she was invading his privacy. Claiming that she plugged it into charge and it coincidentally unlocked and loaded his browser history, Emily's distrust was met with the emasculated anger Temperature constantly echoed. Breast intentions. Having missed the entirety of his son Coben's life prior to 90 Day, Kobe was completely in the dark when it came to Coben's breastfeeding. After Emily takes her breast out on the couch to feed their son while surrounded by her family, Kobe is mortified and lets her know. From telling her to breastfeed in the basement to guilting her over not stopping at 7 months like the other African women he knows, Cobb's words, aggressive attitude were off-putting and proved he had much to learn about Emily. Be it selfishness or cultural differences, Cobb came off about as poorly as possibly in front of Emily's entire immediate family. Not modest enough, excited over finally introducing Muhammad to her squad, Wive wore a modest mauve dress and a black half jacket for the festivities. Ready to head out the door, Muhammad rhetorically asked Wive if she was sure about her jacket choice and that he could see everything. Appeasing Muhammad's hypocritical demands, Wive would change her jacket, but it wouldn't change his tone. From critiquing Eve's friends' intentions to outright telling them he doesn't like them, Muhammad's monotonic and miserable attitude would bring Wive to tears on the ride home as he further bemoaned her free-spirited ways. Horse pile shoveling away at a pile of horse manure with zero urgency, Emily took it upon herself to enlighten Cobb on the proper way to move a mountain. While Emily was justified in her criticism, Cobb saw it as another example of Emily being more of a foreman than a fiancé and let her know in the most explicit of ways. Telling his fiancé to shut the F up in front of her mother Lisa, Cobb left his future mother-in-law in stunned silence as Emily snapped back and stormed away. An explosive moment that had been building up for weeks, Cobb's inability to face innocuous critique illuminated the fissures in their relationship they could no longer bury. Bidet boy leaving his mother and life in Egypt behind for the parallel heat of New Mexico, Muhammad came to the States under the assumption that Wive would have everything ready for him in advance and in perpetuity. Upon finding out that she ordered a bidet for wudu but hadn't assembled it, Muhammad overlooked the miles of road she laid for him for the sole unfinished strip. After he comically attempted to assemble it himself, Wive called a plumber to attach the bidet. Angered over another man being in his house in proximity to Wive, Muhammad commanded Wive to leave the bathroom, told her that no man will ever be allowed in the house without him, and insisted that she make a list of his demands to adhere to after she sarcastically asked if that's what he wanted. Ungrateful and essentially stripping Wive of her freedoms in her own home, this was Muhammad's worst of many bad moments. Shahida and Bilal had more arguments than accords. After Bilal's deceptive look into his life cast a permanent shadow of distrust on their relationship, the couple had an uphill battle towards matrimony. With Shahida nervous over meeting Bilal's ex-wife, Shahida, at Juma, their car ride there would prove disastrous. After expressing her anxiety over the meeting, Bilal bafflingly brushed aside her concerns and joked about her having boogers. Angered, Shahida slapped Bilal in the back of the head. After he lectured her on why he was so upset, she hit him again. And again, pulling their car off to the side of the road and threatening to call her an Uber. Their surprisingly physical fight was a jarring example of their inability to communicate. Red wine dreading telling his friends and family that he was moving to the U.S. Biniam waited until the night before his departure to inform his sisters that he was leaving Africa. Attempting to ease the blow by doing it at the video premiere for his song Dancey Dancey, Biniam's plan backfired, setting his fiancée Ari up to feel his family's wrath with an audience. As he finally shared the news with Mimi and Wish, the Shibre sisters' heartbreak quickly turned to anger. blaming Ari for taking their brother away with no notice, despite Ari telling them that she pleaded with Biniam to tell them sooner. Wish grabbed her glass of wine off the table and threw it in Ari's face. From screaming at Ari and Biniam to calling her evil, Wish's raw reaction was the most visceral moment of the season, and while uncalled for, wasn't unexpected for a woman who just found out she was losing her brother and nephew in less than a day to the woman she's disliked for years.